Hi there, it's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. So I have all these pages from an old encyclopedia, and they are so brittle. You just look at them and they tear. So if I wanted to put them into a signature, as you can see, if I fold them, they will be they'll start tearing and they won't hold up well. So I'm sure that I learned this from somebody online, putting napkins, paper napkins, where you tear apart the layers and gluing them on. And it makes them more sturdy. They don't break anymore, and you can use them. I have used them this way in a journal. So here's just the white part of a paper napkin. You tear it apart into 3 layers, or 2 if the paper napkin is only 1 or 2. This is a little paint I got on it. Same paper, but now it has strength and it has heft to it, and if I folded it, it has integrity. You can write on this side. Just finding a marker. This is a micron something marker. You could doodle on it. Just a little something. Or you could write on it the date. Today is February. Yeah, happy February. As well as, of course, write on the actual paper. So that's an option for anything you have. And these encyclopedia pages, they were falling out of the book and would have been thrown in the garbage. So I brought them home, and the next step was to figure out what to do with them. So as you can see, I've done a few of them. And a few from the book came out in almost the double sided. So I used a little washi along here, and the napkin here. I think there's a couple of napkins. 1, 2, and then bits and pieces here. So you can also layer them. And they don't always come out real smooth, and sometimes that's the beauty of them. Here's another. This one is a different kind of napkin. I'm going to show you the napkins that I have. This one I was painting. I brought my watercolor out. When you're playing with our paper and ink. This one is a full napkin, and this one was another. This one wasn't attached, but I attached it, thinking, what if I want something longer? And then I realized my napkin ended here. What was it going to add? And these are from tea bags. You make your tea, and then you pull out the tea bag and you let it dry, brush off the tea, and this is the bag that they came in. Here in the southern USA, and I presume in the north USA, they have really large ones for making iced tea with. Sweet tea. Southern sweet tea. So that's what this is from. So I just kept on going, and it was the sort of thing you can do in front of the television. I often will have a junk journaler. Yeah, I like working with Gail Aganastelli. I don't know how she crafts so intricately and still keeps a conversation going with viewers. That's not me. I can show you things and tell you what things, but I don't know if I can craft. This I painted, and it's a napkin. So the napkin itself was white. This is the pattern, and there's a few of them that I just put around. So you can see the watercolor that came through. This is another kind of napkin, and I folded it over an edge. I liked the edge that the napkin had, and I thought, well, let's use that. It's so thin. It's a different style of paper napkin than the traditional ones. This is from my mother's. I had to clean out my mother's apartment when she moved into assisted living in 2020, so I brought a lot of her stuff home, and that's what I've been using. So that I mean, just how rich and beautiful that is. And how the encyclopedia shows through. Isn't that lovely? This one, again, I painted over this because this was white napkin. And this one is one that I painted the most. First I painted, then I put the napkin on top. And this does have a little more integrity. You can see it still rips, but not as much. That's where I moved on to putting napkin over all of them. Another napkin, another one, another one. Here's something, the tea bags, and I had, obviously, when I was junk journaling in COVID, I started slow stitching stuff on to one of these tea bags. So I just glued the whole thing down. And another one, this is the kind of napkin I was talking about. It doesn't have layers, it's just this one layer. I'll show you more in a bit. So that's one. Thought that was interesting. And I just put scraps along the edges because I wanted more integrity on the corners of this paper. I have one idea of what I'm going to do with it. And again, from watching Gail Aganastelli, she made a tall pocket. Apparently she's following with Rachel at Roxy Creations, her challenge and tall, sorry, not pockets, envelopes. And I thought, well, let's try this old paper with a napkin on and see if I can fold it and it'll keep its integrity. I really like this. This I might cut out a little bit, put it on something. I want to make a tea and dessert journal. That's soon. This one, I like the coloring of this napkin. It's so vibrant. So here are some more of my napkins. And I've been collecting them, and I sent away for some, and I've received from in Happy Mail. Now, usually a napkin has a couple of layers. A regular napkin we use at a meal. I'm going to show you, and this is not my trick. I learned it online, and I'm not sure that I could tell you who taught it, but using washi tape, which is a low tack, and if it's a specifically tacky tape, then put it on your hand or arm and it loses some of its tack. And it makes it easy to pull it apart. Now see, I have both a white with a really pretty edge, and I have this one. And I think this napkin only had 2 layers, but I could be wrong. Let's just see. I'm pulling from this side and I'm pulling from this side. And many of you have already done this, but in case there's somebody new. Oh, it does have 3 layers. Wow. Surprised, I think. Yeah, it's a little fiddly. See? I'm pulling from this side and I'm pulling from that side. See how it's coming apart? It's oddly satisfying. There you go. I now have 3 options. And I think this was either gifted to me or I purchased it online. Here's another one. So you see the different napkins, and I thought I'd just quickly show you how I do it. One option is to use Mod Podge. That's not something I enjoy doing. I don't use Mod Podge very often. The one that I actually have on the shelf is probably all dried up. For some reason, the sheen of it doesn't appeal to me, even the matte version. Now, I did see somebody, and again, I can't remember who, because I do watch a lot of videos as I'm doing other things. We live in an apartment, and in an apartment complex, it's community living, so you have people that are going about their lives, and not everybody is quiet, and that's okay because it's their life. And so I wear headphones. That was the point of the story of why I watch so many videos. I have headphones on whether I'm cleaning or I'm cooking or I'm doing something, and so I listen to junk journaling videos or many other videos and podcasts, things like that. Learn something while I'm doing something mundane like the dishes. I'm struggling here, as you can see. And sometimes that happens. You won't get the full sheet off. Sometimes you will. So I keep the white and the colored separate and the with designs. This one already has the backing removed. And this one I may do in 4s because you can see the pattern repeats. This one here, this is one I think that I painted on. I'll show you the difference. Just looking through my pile here. Yeah, so this is this napkin. On here, the one layer, and just the white parts I painted with my watercolors. Anyhow, I won't take them all apart, but you see how many options you have. And this is this kind of specialty napkin that my mother had, and I don't know what they are and I don't know where they're from, but she had it in her china cabinet. Remember china cabinets? Do you have a china cabinet? So I thought what I'd do is I'd give you a quick idea of how easily this works. How you can put napkin on. And again, I mentioned sometimes you would use a Mod Podge. Some people use Mod Podge. I've used Yes Paste before. I've used a combination of glue mixed with water, sort of just plain glue, to make it less viscous. I don't know, it's thinner. But good old glue stick, it just works, and it's the least messy. I'm not fond of mess. Sticky hands. So yeah. Literally putting the glue stick down. So this is one way that I like to use glue stick. I use art glitter glue, which is glue without glitter. It's a white glue that works so well. Or I use Fabri-Tac for other journaling aspects, but a glue stick, this works for me for the napkins. And I ordered these in bulk from Target, which is a store we have in the US. Ironically, a Canadian crafter, Nancy at Wishes and Weeds, she was the one that said she liked these glue sticks, and they work well, and they're less expensive than many others. So, and I take the napkin, and I want to include this pretty edge, so I'm just going to lay it so, and you lay it down and press it, and you can see how, because it's just one layer of napkin, it'll show through. Isn't that pretty? There we go. It's not immediately dry, so I wait a bit. And I may fold this over, because as I said, I like this edge. And again, I have no idea what I'm going to be using this for, except for that idea of an envelope. I may do that in another video. Making an envelope. I have to re-watch the video that Gail did to understand. There we go. That is literally how simple it is. Take care. It's Laurie at Positive Things Living. Happy crafting.